Now, I request all the dignitaries to please step forward for take your seats. So, I would request Sri Shamir Sa sir, Sri Sakib Joshi sir, Sri Ajay Kumar Saraswat sir, and Dr. Darshan Masru sir to take your seats. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Sri Jyotindra Bhatt sir to welcome Sri Shamir Sa sir with the bouquet of flowers and memento. Sir has over 34 years of experience in international freight forwarding and customs, graduate in BSc Chemistry, LLB, BBM from Bombay University. He holds business position in various firms include partners in JBS Group of Companies, Jashwin B. Shah, Licensed Custom House Agents, Star Freight Private Limited, International Freight Forwarders and Multimodal Transporters, ITA Agents, Advisory, Innovation Trending in JBS Academy Private Limited, Skill Updation Education. Thank you so much, sir, for your presence. Now further, I request Sri Jayesh Joshi sir to welcome Sri Ajay Kumar Saraswat sir with the flowers. As already been introduced in our first session, sir is the founder of A1 Solution Customized Logistics and Offering Ahmedabad. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Sri Anash Sheikh sir to welcome Sri Sakib Joshi sir with the flowers and the mementos. Sir is currently working with Flomic Global Logistics Limited as a regional manager sales. He has worked for a top freight forwarding multinationals with experience of 13 plus years in international and domestic supply chain management solution. He has also worked in a branding field for a fashion category watches brand. His qualifications are MBA from ICMAI Mumbai with the supply chain management and marketing as a specialization and completed BBA from the Delhi in the marketing. Thank you so much, sir, for your accepting our request. Now further, I request Sri Chirag Panchal sir to welcome Dr. Darshan Masru sir with the flowers and the memento. Sir leads the India operations of EPT Group. He is renewed custom broker and an expert in freight manager, whether it by a sea, air or a lane mode. His specialization in custom clearance, ODC and heavy cargo handling, lifting, transportation, ocean freight, air commercial carriage, warehousing and distribution projects, time-sensitive movement, life-saving drugs and express pharma logistics. Presently, he is Honorable Secretary of Ahmedabad Custom Brokers Association, Honorable Secretary of Exim Club Ahmedabad. He is also involved in the Gujarat History Research Center organization into research and writing work regarding the history of the Gujarat. Thank you so much, sir, for your presence. Now further, I would like to request our chairman, Sri Samir Shah sir, to take over the session, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Come on, good afternoon. We've got forwarders here, we've got logisticians here, we've got future logisticians here, and itla marela, good afternoon. No, it's not done. Good afternoon. Yeah, that's it. We need a lot of energy. I had a group of you coming and talking to me in the break, and that really energized me that yes, I've got a wonderful panel, and we should be able to do wonders for you all in the next 1.5 hours. Thank you to the organizers. I think they deserve a resounding round of applause to be able to do this for 11 years consistently, you know. Congratulations. My compliments and congratulations to each of you for having taken out the time and coming here and spending the day today. You actually have a lot of stalwarts of this industry. One of them just walked in, Rajesh Doshi sir. Why don't you say hello to everyone? He's an institution by himself, and later on you should all go and make friends with him, you know. you all, I'm sure you all will benefit a lot out of whatever have been the deliberations today. There are times when you sit, going for a program, you sit over there and you wonder, what am I doing here? Or somebody has forced me to come here. But then if you just pay attention, give the speakers that space for that 1 hour, 1.5 hours, I'm sure most of it will come back to you at some later point in your life, at some later stage, which you will be able to use very effectively. You know, who is basically a speaker at a seminar like this? A speaker at a seminar like this is someone who's already experienced, who has the ability to think at a macro level, and more importantly, he is willing as well as able to share his ideas with the audience. So you are very fortunate that you've got a great panel over here. The flow is going to be like this, that we will have Saket Joshi sir speaking first on port connectivity. Then we will have Ajay Saraswat sir speaking on the logistics solution and the evacuation. And then we'll have Dr. Mashu sir speaking on what is very important, and that is compliance and the human angle. You all have to remember one thing, that the future of India is with people who are going to be compliant. With everything moving on to the soft medium, getting digital, etc., etc., those days of jugaad, those days of I know the person, I will get it done, you don't worry, I will find a solution, those days are gone. Now the future is going to be only for those who will be really compliant, you know, and also he will touch base upon the human resources management and the education that you need to be in this space. For my panelist, I had a group of boys and girls coming to me saying they wanted to make careers in freight forwarding in the future. Let's remove the word freight forwarding and put the word logistics, you know, so that it gives them a very wide spectrum of staying in the logistics sector. So maybe each of you could even say a few words on that for their future. With these few words, I'll invite Saket Joshi sir to make his presentation.
Is it audible now? Yeah. Very good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all had a very nice lunch. Charged up? Yeah, battery down. Charged. Good. So, thank you very much for the management team of the entire organizing committee for letting me to be a part of this important forum. I think we can keep it as an interactive session somehow. I don't know how much of it, but let's try to be a bit interactive during this rather than being on one-to-one session. So my subject which I am talking about right now is port connectivity and logistic solutions. The basic definition, although there are many learned people over here, but for the freshers or people who are keen to learn, what is meant by logistics management? There are two types of logistics management. One is forward and one is backward logistics management. The first part which goes maybe like export, the second part may come as an import or a re-import cargo. So the first point which says here is planning, implementing and controlling the forward and reverse flow of goods and services. So I have a very basic question to all the freshers, not to experienced people. Do we export goods or services out of India? Or do we do both? Both? Sure? Good, good answer. So because India being an IT driven company for countries like USA, we have a very strong hold in those countries wherein we can provide our services over there. So not only goods in physical form, but services in terms of software or outsourcing. We are very good at it in our Indian subcontinent. The second part is achieving operational efficiency. Achieving operational efficiency has been the core part of any logistics company, any supply chain management company, any international freight forwarding company, or any company which is into a manufacturing sector. Do they achieve 100% operational efficiency ever? Will they be ever be able to do so? Is there anyone who can say yes, 100%? No? My answer is also the same. Operational efficiency comes with a cost. There has to be a cost involved in terms of training the manpower, training the new joinees, training the current staff also, upgrading their knowledge by keeping them on continuous improvement or learning program. Like we have various programs in supply chain and maritime also. There are courses for PhD and advanced and diploma courses. The next part is maximizing the profits with a sustainable business and logistics solution. Now the key word here is sustainable. Does anyone know what is sustainable? It means to have it in the long run. I don't feel that any company which is having a short-term vision or suffering through myopia would be able to get into a long-run business profitability, because the shorter the vision, the shorter would be the business, the shorter would be the profitability, unless and until the company has that vision itself of selling it out, maybe after getting a certain number of profit number or stake. The last part, as I said earlier, also focus on improvement, so I'll not cover it again. We could see here that students were interacting with Samir sir. So he was discussing how they can succeed or what do they exactly want. He was not asking you, or he was not telling you that you need to do this or you need to do that. He was asking you, he was provoking you so that you can tell from inside what do you want exactly. Rather than freight forwarding, he said, we talk about logistics. We have been talking about digitalization since last 2 years. Even Government of India has been implementing a lot of practices like e-shipping bill and other practices by shipping line also, like filing online documentations. So I'm sure you will learn all these things in your upcoming years in your career. So the first part is connectivity. What is the first part of connectivity? It is not only in terms of human communication, but also in terms of email communications, written, verbal, or in terms of connectivity from port to the ICD locations. The main part which comes here as a conclusion in connectivity is the connection between the customers and the service provider. The second part is operational transparency. There are many organizations like एक के बाद एक layer होती हैं, hierarchies होती हैं. But as of now, or maybe in today's scenario, many companies try to prefer that we need to have a single point of contact, also known as SPOC. Why they want to prefer that? Because they want to know what are the inside processes while you are dealing with their cargo for exports or imports, or how will you offer them a single window solution, or probably what are the solutions to their hurdles. So once they have the operational transparency with them, probably like having a joint meeting of the entire team with the customer or vice versa, which gives them operational transparency. Transparency with clients in terms of deliverance, what we can offer or what we cannot offer. This is one of the main success factor or losing out factor. Overcommitment comes with a cost of losing out the customer. It is generally said in logistics and supply chain के आप शायद 100 कॉल्स करेंगे तो शायद एक आदमी आपको अपॉइंटमेंट देगा और उसके बाद शायद कुछ कन्वर्जन आपके पास बिजनेस का हो सकता है. So that takes a lot of time and it is a tedious process. But how much time will it take to lose out that customer? So that transparency with clients in terms of probably billing, in terms of deliverables, in terms of SOPs, that is standard operating procedures, it comes with a cost, but it comes with a long-term benefit and a long-run sustainable business. I used a short form here, that is CAPA. We usually use it for companies wherein we are dealing with them for pharmaceutical products. We all make mistakes. We are humans. We are heading towards digitalization age in terms of logistics and supply chain also. But there has to be a corrective and preventive action so that the same mistake, even if it is repeated twice, it does not get into a thrice model, or else we get out of the business itself. This is just a brief overview of how international trade and ports have been operating, how the Indian business and international trade started off. We could see that we started dealing off with Europe in somewhere around 1498, wherein it was majorly for spices and agro commodities. And once it was explored that India has a huge potential, not only in terms of agro commodities, but also in terms of chemicals, metals, engineering, heavy cargo, ODCs, which I'm sure many of us are also handling day in, day out on logistic solution basis. So it's just a brief that we are exporting more than 7,500 commodities to about 190 nations and importing about 6,000 commodities from 140 nations. So that's a huge figure which shows over here, but this is just not limited. It has been sourced out from Google. Now coming back to the part where we are sitting, we are in the western region, west coast area. That is, we are in Gujarat. Gujarat has the advantage of longest coastal line in all the states. And India, in the Indian subcontinent, has an advantage of the coastal line, which is approximately 6,000 plus kilometers of length. So this gives us what? This gives us a huge opportunity in terms of development of port infrastructure. We can still see, like for live examples, we earlier had Pipavav and Kandla, and then came up Mundra, and then came up Hazira. We are also coming out with other many ports which are under development as of now, and government has been taking good initiatives and promoting private players also into it, so that we can improvise on our port infrastructure facilities and facilitate more of the exporters and importers with main connectivity to ICD locations. Port logistics integration. So this port operations, anybody from port background? Anyone? Or anybody who has studied? Okay. So sir, I would just like you to tell us about a brief that how do the port logistics work? Just 1 minute thing. माइक है क्या? माइक दे दो ना. एक आपको not a question, but to the people who are new over here, they can understand how complex is that process.
Shipping itself is complex in terms of so many different aspects and so
Right.
many different people. Financing is different, chartering is different, ship owning different. Just like that, port is also is so complicated. So many different.
There are so many
people,
parties, like crane operator
so
is
many
involved.
parties, and so
The port
here
CFS
comes
people.
in ports there are land-based parties, and there are variety of people involved in the jobs.
Right, right.
Very
So as sir
complex.
rightly said, there are multiple parties which are involved, like crane operators, port people, CFS staff over there, ground staff. So all these operations are not simple. They come at a very huge cost and at a very huge investment. So obviously those huge investments have to be recovered in the long run. There cannot be a short run goal to it. So how does it get into a profitable business? Our main point was connectivity. So we get back to the main point. Now when we see the ICD locations like ICD Delhi, Panipat, Haryana, Patli, or northern ICDs like Ludhiana, Punjab, just we were talking about it with Saraswat sir. So all these cargo, where does it go? It has to be routed through a seaport. Now as sir said, it is a complex process joining both the locations via rail or by road. So these are the only two options which are available with us as of now. Inland waterways, it works more for the domestic cargo movement. So as far as export cargo movement is concerned, rail or road connectivity becomes a vital part in terms of port and logistics integration with local transporters. Now integrating the port with business partners. I'll give you an example of Ahmedabad itself. We earlier had only ICD Ahmedabad. Then came up the company of ICD Sanand, that is Third Dry Port. And then we had ICD Sachana, and we have gateway rail infrastructure also. So I think Adani is also coming up with some ICD connections ahead of Sachana and in Morbi also. Why are they doing this? They are trying to get more connected with the exporters, get into a cost controlling structure so that the road cost versus the rail cost can be controlled and they can be passed on the benefit for it. So this is how the integration may take place. It will be in the long run. It cannot be in the short run, of course, but yes, it is going to be the future for them. How does it happen? As I already said, the intermodal connectivity. So inland terminals connectivity, ICD locations connectivity. In fact, for Rajasthan also, there have been many connections, ex-Mundra, Pipavav, Kandla. So recently we had been seeing the development of Hazira port, which has been considered as a major factor of drawing the business from Mumbai port or Nhava Sheva port, diverting from them. There are many clients or many exporters or importers who deal in bulk volumes. So probably to get into a success model, these locations can offer export or import incentives based on their volumes, maybe additional discount on their billings, so that they can be attracted and stick to them for the long run. For all these, the governance plays a very vital role. The governance, unless and until it is not there, it becomes a very hazy part. So the governance has to be very clear in terms and conditions with the local governmental part, in compliance with the local management, and as required by the HR policies of the company as well as the government. Be in sync with the business partners. How? Get connected well with the ICD locations, get connected well with the freight forwarders, supply chain operators, major CHAs and shipping companies, so that the inventories and the stocks can be managed accordingly at the locations, port-wise or ICD-wise, wherever there is a demand and supply gap. Simplify the processes, maybe simplifying the communications, get into online portals. Many of the companies have started their own online portals. I could see even small transporter companies, they have started their online portals stating that, sir, we will give you a radius and you can check the online rates and get the shipment book directly. Simplifying the process. Which are the main key success accelerators? IT comes at a cost, as I earlier said also, but if due diligently done, there have been many companies like Hapag-Lloyd, CMA, Maersk, and other shipping companies like Kuehne+Nagel, DHL, Schenkers, Expeditors, who have been getting into an advanced level of releasing, blockchain documents, so that the documents are not forged anywhere, because hard copy of the documents, there have been certain cases in the past, present, maybe we can see in future also, that there are forgeries of documents. Probably these online things, they can at least control, because blockchain technology comes with a responsibility at each and every stage. Control costs, how? We cut down the cost of manpower? No, but we control it somehow. We do not spend lavishly कि हमको investment करना है, इसके लिए हम कर रहे हैं. हमारे पास future expansion plan क्या है? In terms of connectivity again. VAS is value added services. Now for example, a freight forwarder can offer a shipment from port to port, for example, Mundra to Hamburg. But what value addition services can he provide? Probably he can entitle the shipper to his online login system, give him access to his online system, providing tracking in real time. I have also worked with a company which used to give real time tracking in 3 time zones. The first one was Far East time zone, the second one was European, and the third one was American time zone. So in case the client is waking up or his counterpart is waking up at any point of time, they will get a real time tracking of their cargo at any point of time, at any given time. Obviously that comes with the cost of investment in IT. It does not come for free. So the next point, which is operational assistance, obviously it is covered inside this part. Optimum utilization of routes. How do we identify the routings? For example, we talk about Ahmedabad to Mundra or Ahmedabad to Nhava Sheva. If anybody says, probably people will prefer Mundra loading, not directly for Nhava Sheva, because of the distance and the time and the connectivity part. Strong CRM. Anybody from sales background or banking background or financial or customer relationship management? Anyone? Okay, an open question to all. Why CRM is important? Okay.
make this process optimized, the CRM is definitely needed. Like we all get the direct access to the customer's order, and it is getting allocated to the free transporter or to the trucks whichever is available at the ICD. So CRM will definitely work in optimizing time and reducing the waiting times, because till the time I receive a call or a mail, till it moves to the terminal, it takes time.
So you're talking about automation.
Right.
Very nice. I missed out that point, but thank you for adding to it. It's a very nice point that once the customer wants to book a shipment, he may get automated alerts, automated pricing, automated quotations on his mailbox without any human intervention. So she was talking about minimizing the errors, which is also a part of CRM. Building the CRM not only comes with the quotations part, but also interacting with them, understanding what are their exact requirements and delivering them on time. That is the exact part of CRM. Now, what are the opportunities ahead? We see a lot of opportunities ahead in terms of inland waterways connections. There are a couple of companies like SCI, TCI and Avana Group, I guess, which are majorly operating into inland waterways, but there are still a large number of solutions which can be offered to automotive companies, heavy industrial companies, bulk or chemical or fertilizer companies, which can help them minimize their cost for domestic transportations. Optimum space utilization in terms of CFS, container yards, in terms of railway connectivities, as I said, like Morbi may be soon coming up with an ICD location. So is the space properly utilized in terms of stacking of containers? Is the space properly utilized at airport for giving sufficient space to cargo, which may be delayed by 1, 2, 3 days due to XYZ reason of customs or any other reasons? Exercise private-public partnership or build, operate, transfer models. We have seen these models majorly in highways. I think government is also into the port infrastructure development. So if build, operate, transfer comes, probably it will be a huge profitable business for private players in the long run. I'm not talking about 15, 20 years, but maybe coming 3 or 4 decades. The last point is promote Make in India concept, because we have seen that majority of the machineries and breakdowns, we have to import a lot of spare parts and materials, even for our Indian ports. So probably Make in India promotions may help in minimizing or giving customizable solution to the port locations and have a better connectivity on it, even at the times of breakdowns. With this, I would like to end my presentation. Thank you very much for your time. Question answer session?
No, we'll take it together afterwards.
Okay.
Come.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Saket sir. I want all of you to remember one thing, that logistics is very easy. Okay, there's no rocket science in logistics. But remember that it is not simple. Just think about what I've said. It's a very easy subject, but it's not a simple subject. And most importantly, it can be very easily complicated. So if we are not clear in our minds as to what we want to do, we can really complicate it to whatever extent we want. And if we can hold the ability to keep it simple and to keep it clear, then it's a very easy thing to work in. With this, I'd like to invite Ajay Saraswat sir to share his views with us.
Good afternoon once again. I know post-lunch sessions with PPTs are more like lullaby, like gives you a sound. Let's come out of it. But then basically what Samir sir had just added, like basically it's the complexities are such, the topic is such, but then we'll try to make it as interesting as possible. The next 20 minutes I will take you through what connectivity means to me as an individual. Again, the disclaimer is there, right? For me, connectivity is an integral value chain, because if you have the best of the infrastructure and you don't have a connectivity, the whole purpose is lost. And this actually takes me back with my own experience, because I came to this paradox situation in life when I joined Mundra Port. And I had another port as a competitor, which is Pipavav. Pipavav had the best of the infrastructure, the connectivity of 300 plus kilometers, and that too done by a PPP model where Indian Railways had invested. But when Mundra came, they were not ready for a 70 kilometers. Don't ask me the why. 70 kilometers for them was a painful journey. And there they did an investment of so many crores without understanding what traffic the port will bring. And what Pipavav today is not what it was. I have already told you in the morning, right? There was a different promoter. He made things happen without realizing what he is doing. And probably the officials at Railway also were not very clear. And they had a blunt no as far as Mundra is concerned. He said, "Aapne ghar banaya hai, road banane ka zimmedari mera nahi hai." But we had a visionary chairman who said, "Okay, fine, can you stop me from making my own road?" And that is the challenge. That is the vision of a gentleman. And that's what Mundra is all about, that they created not only the first private port, but the first connectivity of a rail, private owned railways of 70 kilometers. And not only that, in those initial days, he had the vision of taking extra 100 meters land both sides. Today it is only one track of 3 meters, but 200 meters more extra land. Why? Because the vision was as wide and the spectrum and the way forward was so clear that he said, tomorrow I will require a doubling. Next day I will have my own highway. And probably parallelly, if required, I can run a pipeline. That is what connectivity means to me. That is what connectivity is all about, that you need to align with your vision and then create the infrastructure. So this flashback, I'll just take you through some technical aspect pertaining to the criticalities, the critical success factors which is aligned with any project. The real purpose of any connectivity is evacuation. Evacuation where? At the cargo. The cargo is waiting either at the manufacturer or trader's premise or at the port if it is an import, inbound and outbound. So our purpose in the port is not a warehouse. There is not a place to store containers. It's not a place for cargo. It is only a transit point. The cargo should come and the cargo should go. The faster it comes, the higher is your throughput. And the seamless is the process is what everybody aims at. And of course now the added dimensions of safety, environment and all kind, So evacuation is the key where you need to move the cargo in a seamless way. And today if we see, we were talking about those containers, Sanket sir spoke about the Morbi movement, all these ICDs connected, all these are connectivity where links, the port having clear links with highways, roads, and in coastal you have a seafront as well. And somewhere we are trying up northeastern, we are trying to bring in waterways also. And now the ministry has clubbed, it is all MPOSOW, right? It is all under one umbrella. So that is the evacuation is the key. Optimization of resources is what everybody aims at. So if you have a storage space, your occupancy becomes the key KPI. If it is a moving asset, then turnaround becomes the KPI. So all these KPIs needs to be adhered, monitored, and if you can integrate it with technology, then the whole purpose is solved and your life becomes easy. Connectivity and efficiency, there is a correlation, right? It has been proven, if you go to do other case studies of success ports, you see those efficiencies has been achieved because there has been connectivity in place. And the percentage, if you have a 10% connectivity better, it turns as a thumb rule of 40% increment on your efficiency. 1:4 is the ratio. So you just invest 10 rupees and you get a benefit of 40 rupees. That's what is an intermodal upgradation of your infrastructure brings about. Multi-mode is the future. Multi-mode. India is already going through a lot of, I would say, transformation as far as multi-mode is concerned. Railways has changed their policies, their approach has been changed, and the whole process is now regulators, if they become restrictors, that's a very painful situation. But if they become facilitators, they can do wonders. And that's what we have seen as far as railways is concerned. And this intermodal shifts, which is between road and rail link, or a sea link. So whatever you have seen, you are talking about cabotage, that cargo was road, but it shifted to rail. Car carrier was on road, but it shifted to rail. Why? Because that is required not only for the industry, not only for your cost of reduction, but it also is required for your emissions, carbon emissions. So at one pill, you are taking care of so many ills. Customized solutions, mind you. Today's customer doesn't want silo solutions. No. He wants under one roof, end to end. Give me a visibility and give me a solution. And you are the solution. There is one roof solution, one tailored made agency where he would like to interact. So that customized solution will be only possible when you have your connectivity in place. So connectivity also enables you as a customized solution provider. And sustainable, like we have been always trying from morning, we have been talking about, and the theme of this whole seminar is sustainable development, right? And in sustainability, we have seen how the industry consciousness has increased, how everybody has taken green initiatives, and we have been talking about from the morning. And national trade competitiveness. See, India is striving very hard, very, very hard indeed. In fact, we have the whole bureaucracy working and thinking on it, that how do we reduce our logistics cost? That agenda is very clear. Now to reduce your logistics cost, you need to plug those inefficiencies. So inefficiencies means all kind of bottlenecks in your processes, in your connective, and you try to integrate technology because that optimizes, it's an enabler. You try to utilize it. So if all these things fall in place, then you are actually enabling the country to be more competitive as far as global EXIM trade is concerned. So I think these are some fair points, where connectivity enhances these factors, which is so essential for the success of your business. So let me come then what is happening now, present, abhi. The port infrastructure needs to match the connectivity which we have, like we have spoken in the morning, a lot of policy decisions has been taken. You need to match your cargo lanes. Please understand, as port, you are not landlords. Those days are gone, when you create an infrastructure and the whole ecosystem will drive. There is a custom user building. So you have the CHAs all there, stevedoarders there, all agencies are there, and jisko karna hai udhar jao. No. That days are all bygone. Port as an entity, you are a solution provider, service provider, integrated approach. So there is no silo functioning here, and based on your hinterland, based on your customer, based on your cargo, you try to develop the capabilities, build on the connectivities, join all the dots, capitalize on those strengths, and then you try to come as a solution provider to the trade. That's what is expected, and that's what's happening all around. There is also a very big initiative which has happened at Pipavav, Mundra. They are now trying to match the vessel sailing time, mind you, vessel sailing time. And where is the cargo? The cargo is right in ICD at Delhi, northbound, landlocked area. There the train leaves, keeping in mind there is a time-bound schedule which will move in, and that container will be rallied right into the ship, right into the vessel. There is no dwell time as far as the port is concerned. They have already started on those parameters. So that kind of connectivity we are talking of, and this is happening right here in Gujarat. The government's thrust again, because without that, this industry cannot function. Very clear, these policies are having direct thrust on connectivity, especially Sagar Mela, where you have 235 connectivity projects, spend of around 2.35 lakh crores, a dedicated freight corridor, no stoppage in between, no passenger trains. The railways had a very peculiar system. They stopped goods train because it is for it's not their priority. They are serving humanity, okay, good, but not at the cost of business, right? At the end of it, we are all enterprises. We need to earn profits. So there is now a DFC which will service only the freight trains. There is a freight-friendly expressways which we are now seeing. The future that we see is that these high axle loads will go from trunk routes, and the feeder routes will be more on the smaller vessels. For example, on road, if you ask me, 9 tonners, history, 15 ton gaya, 21 ton जाने वाला है, पक्का. So the trucks which you will see mostly is 30 ton and above. And these will be all kind of a regional kind of a thing within Gujarat or within Ahmedabad to probably north or south Gujarat, that kind. So that paradigm shift is happening slowly, but for the next coming 2 years, 3 years, you will see all these vehicles will be moving off the road. 30 port-linked industry clusters. Please understand, if you see airports, then ports need to learn business from airports. How many of you will not like to spend time at Hyderabad airport if you have a waiting for 3 hours? Loveliest. 3 hours of shopping experience, spa experience, gaming, right? Anything and everything great. If you want to have a nap, shower, everything is there at the port. So you see how an airport which was only for takeoff and landing the spectrum has been wide, the whole business has been opened. If you go to AeroCity in Delhi, you see how airports has again been catapulted into a spectrum of services. And where you have the whole weekend crowd now pumping into that AeroCity. You go on weekends, you will not find a place to wine and dine. So what stops ports then? Why can't you make a gateway of spectrum of services with a better connectivity? Bring in all your cargo owners, bring in all them, let them have a smart cities in and around. Let have those industries which are away from the port come near the port. And then tourism can also be clubbed together. Why not water sport near a port? There is already a container hotel in Mundra, by the way, if anybody would like to try out. So SIPC is the answer, smart industrial port cities, which is now happening. And IPRC, which is again a SPV which has been formed only on connectivity by railways, 32 projects identified, the bottlenecks has been identified, and 18,000 crore spend on it. So I think it's a wonderful initiative the whole country is doing. And what will be the future then? The future is innovate, the continuous improvement, Kaizen, all these things we all know. But innovation for us translates for me as an individual is competitiveness, efficiency, sustainability, security, and protection elements so that we can facilitate the industry learning curve to 4. Industry 4, so port 4 also, I think somebody mentioned in the morning. So if we can drive as stakeholders in whatever realm that we are in the entire value chain, I think we are doing a wonderful job. And ports needs to position themselves as end-to-end service provider. They have to take the onus. And DP World, Mundra, everybody is now coming into end-to-end. And off late, I have seen one dead horse suddenly coming to life. I'm sorry for using this word for an organization, but that's my perspective and I have the disclaimer in place. So nobody can stop me from talking. And that is JM Baxi. The way they have done 2 acquisitions, the latest one with JNPT now, just 2 days ago, that shows, the tiger was actually waiting for an opportunity. And now you will see there's a lot of consolidation that should happen as far as the industry is concerned. Sustainability, as I always say, you don't have a choice for yourself and for your future generation. And Hyperloop will be a reality. And I wish I see in my lifetime. And DP World with Virgins are already bringing into India. Their trials are already on as far as Dubai is concerned. And the age of digitalization is there. Data is not data. For us it is data. Data. Data is data. Right? It has everything if you want to actually seek into it. So I think with this, again, I think probably a couplet is required, right? That's for the ending, that's what is my message to everybody, especially the youngsters, forget about problems, forget about complaints, forget about everything. We need to be on the ecosystem of providing solutions and services, right? So what you do your part. I think that's the message that I would like to give to everybody. And for this, a couplet is, शिकवे जुल्म से कहीं बेहतर होता, शिकवे जुल्म से कहीं बेहतर होता कि अपने हिस्से की एक क्षमा जलाते रहते, अपने हिस्से की क्षमा जलाते रहते. Thank you so much for Sakib Communication. Thank you for providing me this opportunity. Thank you, Samir sir. Thank you so much.
To request Dr. Mashru to make his presentation, please.
respected dignitaries on dais, of the dais, my dear friends from logistics and shipping industry, friends and students. First of all, I would like to thank you very much, each of you, because you have invested your 8 hours for this. It is not a small time. You are coming from a long, and you have invested few hours of your precious time. Otherwise, you can enjoy at your home with a chilled AC, and you can do many more things. Many of my friends is still enjoying with a mobile phone. So I would like to request you, if you are smart, please raise your hand with your smartphone. So, are you not smart? Do you have doubt on yourself? Huh? Please up your hand with your smartphone. Why are you shying? Do you have a smartphone? If you are smart, you must having a smartphone. Huh? Great. Look at your phone and put it the downstairs. So, sir has given me responsibility to talk about the human angle in logistics and compliances. But with a due respect of a human angle, we all are youngsters of India, so we love intelligence. So I have added one more line, artificial intelligence versus human, and whether human is important or artificial intelligence is important, and then after we'll talk about the compliances. So what do you think, friends? Machine intelligence or a human intelligence? What is important? Both? What is your view, friends? Backbenchers. Huh? My favorite chair, last bench. Human or machine? Both? Huh? It is a debatable. पहले मुर्गी या पहले अंडा? Huh? So, machine या human? Priority to human. Great. Huh? Sir has a vast experience, so he has given priority to human. And many of my friends are living in the 22nd era. 21st generation is almost gone for us. We are a far step ahead. So we are in the 22nd generation through our mindset. So we feel that machine is a much more important. But who made the machine? Humans. Great. Since morning we are listening port, connectivity, vessel, ships, blah, blah, blah. Huh? So might be your face is showing बस बहुत हो गया अभी पोर्ट के बारे में नहीं सुनना है. Huh? So let us think, let us talk about a different scenario apart from port connectivity. In front of you, the gentleman, do you know who is he? There are approximately 200 participants in this class. Huh? Who is he? Can you identify? Looks like a James Bond. Who is he? Sorry? Someone has given answer. Yes, he is a Garry Kasparov. Who is he? Russian chess player. The answer is itself in the photo. Huh? हमारी आदत है एक ही लाइन में देखने की और whenever anyone asking a question, we are helping our second god, Google. How many of your friends has tried but not succeeded? Might be you have to click a photograph, and with the help of a QR and artificial intelligence, automatically Google will give you answer. Google can recognize the photo and gives you a proper answer. But we have what we have done. Someone has given right answer, so we have to type it. So don't do that. We are in 22nd century by mind. Please upgrade yourself. Window 10 is gone. Okay, so I would like to define the human angle versus artificial intelligence. So there are three types of a case study. We'll discuss three case study and we'll identify whether human angle is important or machine angle is important. So first case study, that is a very popular, Garry Kasparov versus Deep Blue. IBM has made one supercomputer that is called as a Deep Blue chess computer. So in the year of February 1996 at Philadelphia, there was a competition of a chess. Garry Kasparov, world #1 player at that point of a time, he played with a computer. And again second time, in May 1997, he once again played with a computer. That is the first time in the world history. And what would be the result? Can you imagine? Human win? Any other? Yes, you are absolutely right. So in 1996, February, the Kasparov versus Deep Blue, Kasparov wins 4 versus 2 point. And in second time, again, the same computer and Kasparov match, 6 times they played, and result was a 3.5 versus 2.5. So Kasparov lose. Why? Man is important or machine is important? Again, this is a situation like that. Parliament is on upper side or Supreme Court is on upper side. There is no clear-cut majority in India's constitution also. So similar kind of a situation in 96, 97 come arise. So once again, the intelligent people like you, they have tried something else. So second time they come up with a second case study that is called advanced chess. Advanced chess is a new form of a chess that includes human plus computers. Both are playing together. So this scenario was the first time computer and human together playing a chess. So in Spain in June 1998, it was played once again Garry Kasparov. He has utilized one Fritz 5 computer. That is an advanced computer. They have a specially designed for a chess. And William Topley, he is using a base 7.0. So 6 games they played, but each game was 60 minutes. But unfortunately, the entire game was a tie, 3-3. So what are the output after that match? Why? Both the player has sustained. They have given tough competition to each other. So the outcome out of that is called strategic planning. So whatever the man has key points which are Shakti, come out with a troubleshooting. So all that points covered by the human, and whatever the important calculation which is required for the chess, that was done by the computer. So it was a combination of a human as well as a machine that achieve a draw 3-3 कोई जीता नहीं, कोई हारा नहीं. Once again, the third scenario, freestyle chess. You can play with any of the chess player, or you can play with a computer, or computer can play with all of you at a one point of a time. So that is a third freestyle chess versus a computer alone. This study come in 2005. And it was a very successful freestyle chess study. So ultimately many of you feels that कि फ्री स्टाइल चेस है तो गैरी कास्पारोव के पास तो मल्टीपल कंप्यूटर्स रख देंगे, सो ही विल विन द गेम. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली ऐसा नहीं हुआ. द रिजल्ट माइट बी अ टोटली डिफरेंट. सो हु won the match? The tournament was won by the pair of amateur American chess players. Down the line, कोई ग्रैंड मास्टर्स नहीं थे. They won the match. What they have done? They have utilized their artificial intelligence. They can coordinate with each other as well as their coach, and combination of computers. They won the match. और जितने भी ग्रैंड मास्टर्स पास्ट के थे, they lost the match. So what are the outcome? Again there is a question. Machine important or human important? Now what is your answer? Combination. But now we are talking about artificial intelligence, robotics, day in, day out. We have a think about the drone, Hyperloop, many of the things in our mind. But without human, nothing is possible. So in any of the digitization, human factor should be there. Human factor has created this artificial intelligence. And if we are not securing a human, nothing can be possible. So stay ahead of artificial intelligence. Automation word is going on. We are a part and parcel of the same. So we have to think about ourselves. We have to think about our colleagues. Then and then we can reach for the new milestone. So artificial intelligence, it is not a complex subject, but we feel that it is a complex. But who created this? We have created this in this world. So this is the unique combination. Technology evolves, so we must. Sir has given one mantra. This is not a data, this is a data. Data ke gun gao, data ke nahi. Without a data, nothing is possible. But who compiled this data? You all are using smartphone, as I told you. You are downloading any of the app. What they request for? Your allow access. Allow access. Prior to that, either you are maintaining some of your information in their pocket. You are giving your phone number, mobile number, or email address. What they will do? Collecting data. And every time, whenever you are doing any kind of a shopping online or offline, at the time of the billing, what they ask? Mobile number. So they are collecting data. After a few years, you will pop up with a notification. This is the 28th day after using of your Colgate purchase. Now your Colgate about to finish. So shall I deliver? So automatically it will cut from your bank account and it will delivered within a couple of hours. So this is related to human abilities. So human has created all these things. So human ability is a very, very important. So we have to respect the humans. If we are not respecting ourselves, our colleagues, it will not give any of the positive impact in our organization, in our nation also. Related to compliances. So government is giving many of the facilities, benefits, but related to port, maritime, customs, there are several compliances. Compliances for our organization, compliances for a government also. So whenever you think about the compliances, the few things you should keep in mind. In your organization, the first compliance is KYE. What is KYE? Know your employee. We all are well versatile with a KYC. Know your customer, because we have to collect the payment. So we all are maintaining KYC. Are we maintaining KYE? Know your employee. I am not doubting any of the employee, but it is related to safety and security. In case of an emergency, if organization wants to knock your door, generally what HR do, at the first time beginning, they get all the details, PAN card, Aadhaar card, birth certificate, blah, blah, blah. But is it verified? Is it periodically verified? There is one IT company in Ahmedabad. They have a HR division. And 2 years ago, there is a COVID situation. So earlier, they were providing a pick-up and drop facility to all their employees. But due to COVID, it was not possible. So what they have requested all the employees, that will provide you 10 rupee per kilometer conveyance allowance. So please submit your location you are in and give the exact kilometers through Google Map. So we'll reimbursement end of the month. So after 2 months, they come to know that a majority, 70% their employees are resting at Gandhinagar. So HR was a surprise. 70% people are migrating from Gandhinagar to Ahmedabad. It was an IT company. So 30 kilometers up and down daily. Then they have started to cross verification, and they came to know that to enjoy a 10 rupee per kilometer, 600 rupees per day conveyance allowances, they have made a false Bada Karar and submitted to HR. So KYE, related to government compliances, GST. If you are dealing with a customs, there are a certain act is involved, so you have to be updated. Pollution control in port, in safety, security, there are several things you have to keep in mind. Also related to compliances in whatever the industry we are, we have to check the industry norms. If you are working at a port, port has a different kind of norms. If you are working at a dry port, they have a different kind of the norms. In your organization, in office, there should be some of the code of conduct. So that is a much more important, and the obligation should be contribute. Again come to skills. So there is nothing soft about soft skills. Nothing soft. We have to every day sharpen our skill. How we can sharpen our skill? Majority, 65% in front of me are students. So once you completed this, it doesn't mean you are a supreme power of the world. You know each and everything. Logistics is a day-in-day learning. There are multiple vocational courses, multiple courses you have to conduct. Same you are investing your time that you have done. Many of our graduate students, and after graduation, if you want to do post-graduation or up to PhD, this is the best field, because I am in this field. This field is a connect each and everyone, connect port to port, not it connect to heart, because whenever you are getting something, it is a connect with that person also. So we have to sharpen our skill, creativity, collaboration, adaptability, decision making, high EQ, problem solving and communication. Machine not having this kind of soft skills. So we are ahead of the machine. So we have to stay ahead of artificial intelligence, integrity in this autonomous world. We need to start cultivating ourselves. We have to sharpen our skill and we have to reach on the another milestone. We must remember how and what we teach in your classes, in your seminars, even in this today. We have to adopt the same. We have to think about the creativity, imagination, and implement in our organization. Anything artificial intelligence does has so fit into the human-centered value system that take our unique ability and account. So last learning lesson from my presentation, that is a weak human. Please understand, weak human plus machine plus better processes was the superior to strong computer alone and more remarkably superior to strong human, strong machine and inferior process. So whenever the three combination if you are doing, whether you are not a superpower, you are the weak human like me, but if you have a machine and if you have a better processes, you will win the game and grandmaster lose the game. This is the quote by Garry Kasparov only. Thank you very much for your kind attention.